Hey everyone, it's Jen here again to do some more decorating on my Nantucket family home. I want to thank everybody who watched the last video, especially anyone who watched it to the very end. I'm sorry that it was so long and you're very patient if you made it all the way to the end. So thank you for that and thank you for your comments. Um, I started decorating last time, and what I did is after I recorded the video, I kept decorating because I realized I was being really slow about it and I didn't want to, just take up all kinds of video time, working on wall colors and things like that. But I got a little carried away. I started cluttering. It just happens when I decorate. I kind of get caught in the moment and keep going. But anyway, so you can see it looks a little bit different from it did at the end of the last video. At the end of the last video, I had added the windows from Vintage Glamour, and they let in a lot of light, and I liked that, and they looked good. But they also, for some reason, they had kind of a yellow light to them, and I couldn't get rid of that no matter what I did, even if I, changed the lighting of the room. So I ended up going with these windows from Get Together, and I think those look nice. They kind of match the French doors a little bit, and they, kind of keep that coastal feel that I'm going for. And the room is still nice and bright. And I also changed the wallpaper. I ended up going with white, but the instead of just plain white, I have these. It's kind of a siding. I don't know what you'd call it, but um, so it's still the neutral color, but it gives it just a little bit more texture instead of just plain white. And then I also, as you can see, I added a rug. The room really needed a rug. I realized as I was recording, and I don't think it was centered. Here we go. And I moved these cushions around. I changed, or no, I added these ottomans here. I changed the mirror. um, I did a lot of stuff. I put some artwork on the walls here. I put this is a new console table from Fitness Stuff. I put that there. Um, Added some more lighting. I put these little shelves above the doors because, you can see with these windows added, it's very obvious that these doors are a little too short, as I'm always complaining about. So, as with the front door, I just added something above it to kind of balance it out. So I added these shelves. I like these shelves for the coastal builds because they kind of remind me of on boats or sailboats where you have, uh, a room down below and then you have shelves like these so that when the boat is rocking around or um, things don't fall down or slide off the shelves. So anyway, it was just to kind of give it a little more of that nautical touch. Um, and I mirrored them over here with these doors. I also added some more decor over here. I have the vase. I realized that you can put, oops, I have to turn on move objects here. Um, this is one of those things that some people like Jewel Simming are really good at, or Red Hot Chili Simbler, is finding new ways to display, the regular old objects. So I realized that this vase, this plant from Spa Day, fits really nicely in there. So, it just gives it something a little different. Um, yeah, so that's about it for the living room. Let me know what you guys think. Oh, I also added this ceiling lamp. Um, and just a little clutter. I didn't want to go overboard with the clutter for this particular room. I just wanted to keep it kind of clean and light. But there's a little bit to make it look like people actually live here. I also worked a lot on the kitchen, as you can see. I ended up getting rid of the Parenthood cabinets, at least on the bottom. I don't know, they just were looking a little bit grubby or something, and I just wanted it to look really sort of streamlined and fresh in here. And so, but keeping that nautical theme. So I kind of went in a different direction. I used these cabinets from Cool Kitchen, and then I made the island blue color just as a contrast to get some color in here. Um, I went with these white, it's white in here too, so it's maybe a little bit too much white. Maybe later on I would add some tile back here or something like that, just for more contrast. And that's why I added some of the red, just to get some punches of color. So we've got the red neon above the oven, some red flowers, red fruit, so it gives it a little bit more interest without, getting too busy, I hope. And then, the copper utensils and copper pans add a little more color too. And that's about it. I like would usually continue cluttering in this kitchen. Um, it still looks a little bit bare to me, and I think adding like a tile backsplash here would uh, would look really nice. But I probably would want to mess around with that a little bit. I don't want to waste too much time in this video with that, so I'll play with that later. I also wanted to add a shelf above the refrigerator here, just because I think it's a nice way to fill up that space above the fridge. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Maybe something like that. Um, I don't know if that looks good or not, but I don't want to put it too low, but I'm not sure if I really like the little end cap on it, at least for this particular build. And I don't know how this would look because it's kind of off-white. It doesn't look too bad though. I think this part of the kitchen needs a little bit of color. Oh, I just realized this window needs a curtain. I'll just grab that. I could make this blue. What does that look like? Is it too much of a contrast with that navy blue up there? Or not a contrast, clashing. It does match these cabinets though. Kind of like that, but let's leave it like that for now. It's easy enough to change later on. And I'll just clutter it later on. We can have a cluttering video or something like that. So there we go. So that's what we have so far. The kitchen. Oh, I added this lighting above the island. And I can't remember if in the last video I had the stove over here, but I put a stove here, as you can see, because in the real house they have the stove in this island. And I think I did kind of experiment with putting it there, but all of the EA stoves have a back on them. So when you put it in an island, it kind of obstructs the view. I also put a light above the sink here. And oh, over here I had those tall cabinets, to sort of simulate a pantry. And I just decided, they were kind of, I mean, they're just decoration, kind of useless functionally. So I added some cabinets instead. And that way we can, there's space for a coffee maker. And, if you wanted to, you could get rid of these books and add the ice cream machine or something like that, microwave. And as you can see, I kept the Parenthood cabinets on the top because I like the look of them, with just the different options you have and the plates showing and stuff. I think it adds like a nice casual feel. And the handles actually, I think, match pretty well with these cool kitchen. So, I mean, the facing of it is a little bit different, but I think it looks okay, at least for me. I like it. So let's move on to the dining room. And I did decorate this a little bit in that, I had said I had recorded a video that I didn't post because it was kind of a disaster. So I do have some ideas of what I want to do in here. But, now that I've done the living room, I might change my mind. um, because once I get one room decorated, it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the house. Unless I run out of ideas, then I might surf the web or, look for some inspiration. So what we're going to do in here, we have this fireplace. In the real house, They have two trestle tables, I think, put side by side. Um, and that way you can get a slightly longer table. I did at first try doing three tables, or sorry, three tile tables, two three tile tables. And it was just, to me, it was ridiculously long. So what I ended up doing was using two tile tables, like the slightly darker swatch, and then putting them together. And I'm going to try to center this in the room. Let's see, we've got 5 tiles. Okay, so this is about the center. And I'm going to push them together, just using the Alt key and kind of eyeballing it. And then it makes a longer table, so it's great for, a bigger family. And if you have friends over, you can have a nice big dinner party or something like that. I went with, in the chairs, I went with this, I think it was the darker wood though, with the white. Yeah, just so it's not so much white. So I'll put these on either side. And then just for something a little different, I think I put these end chairs. You see that sometimes with dining rooms where they put different chairs on the ends, and usually the ones on the ends have arms. Because if these all have arms, then, people can feel a little crowded and knock into each other and whatnot. Sims don't care about that, of course, but just for realism in my decorating, that's what I went for. And then over here, we just have a couple of wingback chairs. Oh, I have to, let's see. I have to unlock those, but I have to grab my code. So I'll just put something different there for now. I don't want to exit out of this window at the moment. So let's just put something that looks comfy. We'll use these chairs. I'll probably replace those later. I want to use these same curtains, I think, here that I used in the living room. And this happened in the living room too. It's really weird depending on the lighting of the room. This corner here has more lighting because it's more windows, so the curtain is much brighter. That always bugs me when I'm taking pictures. So if you notice I have a ton of lights in my rooms, that is probably why, because I'm trying to get everything to light evenly for my pictures. I get a little excited about that. Kind of a stickler for that. So anyway, over here around the fireplace, I think I did, it might be this thinner column here. Yeah, it's funny how these white columns, when you put them against the wall, they don't look very white anymore. And I put like a stone, yeah, this one from the bowling stuff pack I really like. Just to give a little more texture to the room and, just something. And then I had these candles, but I use these in the living room too, so I might want to do something a little different. These little candles from Spa Day. But we'll put that for now, and then let's put a mirror. So I noticed, I love the, here I'm going to Alt 9 just to move it up a little bit. I want to make sure it's above the candles, I think. Whoop, I moved my light by accident. Undo. There. This has some really cool swatches that look weathered. I just like that. So I think maybe I'll use one of those. I'm going to change the texture on this chair to match a little bit better. And then let's put some more lighting over the table. I'm going to move this one off to the side for now. Just so we keep some light in here so we can see what we're doing. But I'm going to add, if I can find them. Why can I never find anything? Oh, here they are. So I think that best replicates what they were doing in the actual house, and I like those lamps anyway. And let's see. Let's do a rug. Usually when I'm looking at a room and I'm like, it just doesn't look right. It's not finished. I'm not talking about this room in particular right now because this room is still very unfinished. But when I was working on the living room, I was like, what does this room need? It usually needs a rug. And I think I'm going to use, sorry, I'm just kind of scrolling aimlessly here. I'm looking for that rug from City Living, so maybe I'll just filter here. Sometimes that's easier. This one. It has a really nice kind of teal green. Yeah, the swatch here. And if we make it bigger, it's almost the perfect size for this room. I think it looks okay with that mirror, I hope. It's, it's like a darker color, darker shade of it, but still the same tone generally. And then, like I did in the living room, above these French doors, I put these shelves. I'm going to do something similar in here, but instead of using a regular shelf, oops, I have to undo my filter here. I'm going to use this balsa awning from Get Together, and I'll just move it up above the door, like so. And then I thought it would be cool to have like, excuse me, a contrasting color above the door. Maybe something the same tone as this mirror. And let's see, hopefully I can find the wallpaper that I use. Maybe if I filter by blue. Yeah, I'm looking for kind of that sea, it's like a sea blue green tone, maybe like that. It's a little bright. I think I want a little bit darker. Yeah, and of course I didn't go back and check what wallpaper that was that I used. It didn't have trim on it, I know that much. It wasn't that dark. Maybe it was that one. And maybe it's just not showing up in this filter. Maybe it's more of a green. Well, I might have to look for that. I kind of feel like it was that, the one that shows up in masonry. Oh, that's still a little too dark. But I think I did use this one in the entryway because it matches the real house. And, I do think that looks really pretty. But now that I've done this living room with the dark blues, I might change my mind on that. So let me know what you guys think. Give me some feedback. Like, should I keep, sort of like this aqua color palette in the foyer and the dining room, or should I try to match the blues? Sometimes it's really nice to see a house that's all in the same palette. And then by the same token, it's nice to see some variety. So I think what I'll just end up doing here is go back to the green, and let's just do green and blue together. Oh, you know what? I have to put these columns here too. That'll kind of set it off. And for now, I will just put, yeah, I really can't find that color I used. This is terrible. We're just gonna put this for now. It's not quite the same tone, but you get the idea. And I'll figure out what I used before and fix it later on. So I thought what I could put up here on this pseudo shelf. Oh, when I searched for globe, it didn't find the mini globe. I think that's in sculptures. I so wish we could make collections in The Sims 4. I really miss being able to do that. Oops, I had to turn my filters off. It's so nice to be able to group objects into, into collections so that you can find things more easily, especially now that we have so many stuff packs. I know I had this up there, so I might as well grab it while I have it and just Alt 9. That's how I did those other shelves as well, because the objects I put on them were, the footprint was too large to actually fit on the shelf. So I just use Alt 9. And let's make this this one, this color. And I'm just going to rotate it a little bit. I'm just holding down my Alt key, and then this can be kind of tricky though, because it always swings around the way that I don't want it to go. There we go. And it's a little bit, I think I can move this shelf down just a little bit. I think it's easier to place the object first and then move your shelf around, because when you do the Alt 9, it's, it's a specific range. Whereas with the shelf, you can do Alt and get much finer increments. So I'm going to continue looking for that mini globe. And it's probably not in sculptures. Let's check over here. I always feel like you guys are probably seeing it and going, hey, there it is. And I'm totally missing it. Okay, maybe it's a miscellaneous. Sometimes it's like there's no rhyme or reason to where things are. Here we go. Let's move that up. Is that too high now? Yes. So down one. I think that'll be fine. You can't really see like the little feet on the globe, but when you're down here, you can't see them anyway, so. And then I think I had the scrolls. It's probably one of those things that I can't, oh no, I can get to it. Something like that. I'll pop those up there. My light's in the way. As long as it's not peeking through the bottom, I think that's fine. So I thought that would be kind of cool. It adds some color to the room. We get some of that, seafaring theme up there with, maps and scrolls and a ship. And I didn't know what I was going to do on the other side of the dining room here. In the real house, she has this really cool high-backed sofa over here in this really cool pattern. And I did try to put, we do have this nice high-backed, what would you call it? I guess it's just a sofa. And I tried putting them over here or putting them together, and they just kind of dominated the whole room. I don't know, it doesn't look so bad, but I thought they'd be a little bit too much for the room, so I ended up taking those out. But I might put one over in this room, just sort of like as a nod to the original house. It'd be really cool if those came in some patterns or something, but I'm not using custom content for this, so I'll have to figure out something else with this wall. Oh, we can put our curtains over here. That's always good. And maybe I just want to do a different wallpaper in here. I might just copy what I have in the living room. Just to, it just keeps it a little more interesting. Rather than plain white. Even though, like, it seems like most houses these days are just, at least when I'm looking online, a lot of houses have plain white. I'm going to add a window here. Oh, we're going to do F5. There we go. We could put some curtains there as well. So I'm just going to grab those. I don't know if this will work, but I don't know if it'll look silly or not. I think it... I might, like, futz around with that if I were on my own, not doing a video, but I don't want to take too much time on that. So what should we do over here? I didn't really get to that in my previous video that I did that I didn't post. So this is all completely new. And we could put, some matching paintings, but I feel like this room needs some plants. That's another thing, like rugs. When a room doesn't look finished, it's probably because it needs some plant life. And let's see, maybe we could put a plant back here behind this chair. I don't want to reuse some of the plants I've already used. So let's do something like that. And then in this corner, something about the same height. It's a little taller, but that's pretty good for now. Try not to get too bogged down. This might look good somewhere. We'll just stick it there for now. So over here I could add, either some tall, how about something like, no, it's a little too fancy maybe. You see people decorate with these a lot though. Maybe this vase here has that nice wavy, actually that might look good in here with the blue. I don't think I have any room for it though. Yeah, I don't want to clutter it up too much, but maybe we can save it for something. Yeah, it's a little too right in the doorway there, but we'll leave it there for now. Let's see, what else can we do with this wall? I don't know if these would look a little too rustic. Unless they don't really take up enough space. Oh, I know. I've got it, I think. Maybe we could put some hutches. Excuse me. I'm gonna scroll down and look for those. I do like this one. I usually use that. Let's see how they look. It doesn't look too bad. Maybe something a little more colorful. Not colorful, but a little more contrast to the room. But then the chairs kind of blend in. So it's kind of a. I don't want to go too dark here. Although, just out of curiosity, what would that look like? Yeah, it's just a little too dark. What do you guys think? I think I'm going to go with the lighter color for now. And then maybe we'll put like a little bench here, or could put like a console table. Whoops. Surfaces. Maybe something simple like that. Maybe something colorful, since we couldn't do the colorful sofa. wonder if there's anything kind of like aqua greenish. It's a little too bright, maybe. It doesn't look terrible though. I mean, it adds some color and it still kind of goes with the tone of greenish blue that I have in here. I'm gonna leave that for now. I kind of like it. If I don't put it there, I might put it against this window here. Yeah, I kind of like that. And then maybe over here I will put an ottoman. Just something simple. I use these in the living room. I do like them because they're thinner. So I think I'll go with something like that. Or like the one from the kids' room. It has a nice aqua. Looks like it's in the wall a little bit too much there. But I think I will move it back slightly. Hopefully Sims will still be able to sit on it. But I can test that out. Yeah, I like that. So actually that took up my 30 minutes here already. I feel like all I did was, I mean, we decorated the dining room and I told you a little bit about what I did in the living room and kitchen. So what I'm going to do is probably continue decorating the dining room. And then like I did this time, next time I'll show you what I did. And maybe I'll do the foyer and the bathroom a little bit and we can talk about it. Because we have a lot more house to get to and I don't want to take too long. So, oh, I found this vase last time and I was like, this royal blue color, goes with everything, but I didn't have any room for it. So I thought maybe the master suite. But that's what I do as I find things or swatches or colors as I go through decorating that I like, but I don't know where to put it. I'll just, plop it down somewhere else. Yeah, so I'm going to wrap up for now. At least we have a dining room pretty much. I'll clutter it up a little bit. I might play with wallpaper and then maybe next time we'll do the foyer and this bathroom. Oh, last time I had forgotten to add a door to the bathroom. So I added that as well. Because remember we had this big wall back here that I was trying to fill up. And I realized I needed a way to get into the bathroom. So I added a door. And so, yeah, maybe next time we'll do the foyer in the bathroom. Maybe we'll get to the master suite. And it'll be good. We're taking a while with this house, but we'll get there eventually. So thank you very much as always for watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye.